Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with more Lines of Battle. Today was supposed to be the big Waterloo update, but they delayed that till, I think, the 28th of June, so about 10 days from now. I'm not really upset, if I'm being honest, because I'll take a better update over a quicker update any day, and they're coinciding it with the official reenactment, so that's all good. I'm just really excited for the game to be in a settled state, and I think a lot of players feel that way. You know, all the stat changes and all of the new units have been awesome, but it has made the meta very hard to nail down and keep up with. So I think, you know, it'll be a nice quiet period. Everybody can figure out the final meta of the game, and we can just go from there and continue to improve it. Maybe start to improve some of the quality of life changes and the presentation changes, and really start to show off this game in a big way. But I'm going to keep casting games because I love doing it and you guys seem to enjoy it. So that is just a win-win. But we have blue versus gold today. FM Nico in the blue versus Hidden in the gold, which is not a color you see very often. But let's take a look at FM Nico's army. I really like this build at this price point. It's not one that you see very often. Definitely lighter on cannon than I'm used to at this cost. But let's take a quick look at it. He's got 8 Lancers on his left flank, and that's kind of going to be the glass cannon. Used well, it could be very effective. But if he gets into a bad engagement, that could be a lot of resources down the drain. And then he's got a more reliable hammer on his right flank with 5 curs and 2 extra Lancers to reinforce. And his core is made up of light infantry, which I love. Light infantry, they are my favorite unit probably in the entire game. I just think they are so cost effective. They are multi-purpose. They're not really terrible at anything. And you get these guys into a forest or a town, oh, they do so much work. So he's got 15 of those. And then just for a little bit of extra reinforcement, he's got 4 line infantry in reserve, 4 guards in reserve, and then I think just 1 extra line and 1 extra grenadier just to kind of use all of his resources. So a really fun build, though it has come at the cost of his artillery. Like I said, he's only got 1 single 12-pounder and 1 single 8-pounder. So yeah, really lacking in long-range firepower. So he's gonna have to use his cavalry well. Luckily for him, he's on a very open map, so a lot of maneuverability once he gets past this small creek, and maybe can kind of dodge around the hill, go around, get some nice flanking charges. There's not really any big woods for units to hide in. So yeah, really good map for a solid cavalry commander. Meanwhile, we have Hidden's army in the north of the map in the color gold. This is a much more generic, basic army. I don't love it, if I'm being honest. I'm just not a fan of line infantry spam, and I'm not a fan of 8-pounders. If I'm going to take cannons, I'm either going to take 12-pounders or I'm going to take horse artillery. 8-pounders are decent. They're kind of that jack-of-all-trades piece. They're just not my thing, though I'm not that great of a player, so maybe I just don't utilize them well. But he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 8-pounders. He's got 32 line infantry. I counted before I hit record. You're welcome. And then he's got 6 dragoons on his right flank and 2 hussars in reserve. So a very minimal cavalry force. Honestly, I don't think this cavalry force is going to be able to accomplish that much, which has me worried for gold. Yes, he has a lot of cannons, but once the engagement gets up close and personal, which on this map, it will become very close range very quickly, I'm a bit worried these 8-pounders are not really going to have enough time to get their cost. Maybe, I don't know, maybe if blue, you know, advances in this kind of lumped up formation, maybe they'll get some good enfilade fire, but yeah, I would certainly take blue's army over gold's. It's all going to just depend on the cavalry fight, as most LoB games do. So let's dive in. Okay, so pretty parallel deployments here. Okay, blue, nice job here by FM Nico, using the crossing points to get over nice and quickly. I'm sure both are just going to charge the hill. I would love to see Nico kind of set up on this ridge line. It's not going to make his units invulnerable, of course, but it is going to help from those 8-pounders, or maybe he even wants to set up right here. You know, don't just give the neutral objective to gold, and certainly don't get the hill to gold and just set up down here. You're just going to get blasted. And then just moving his cavalry across. Okay, so these curs going to be advancing. Lancers, not sure what these guys are doing going back. Maybe they're just going to, you know, eventually go over. And then the 2 cannons, I mean, yeah, you can basically put them anywhere. They're not really going to be that substantial in this battle. Meanwhile, gold, okay, so kind of a 2-line deployment, a couple of columns advancing up each flank. I'm going to be honest, I don't love the placement of these 2 8-pounders. I see what he's trying to do. He's like trying to make kind of a mini core over here that can shoot in from the flank. But the problem with that is now he's going to have to dedicate at least 2 infantry, probably more, or maybe even his Dragoon force to protecting these 2 guns. And it's just going to mean that there's going to be less units in the main engagement in the center. So I would rather see those 8-pounders right here with the rest and just have a very solidified, consolidated force. But I don't know, maybe this flanking force gets a lot of good shots in and I look like a fool. It's happened before. All right, so gold is going to take the hill here. Okay, fire engagement has started. Lancers crossing, and Kurz is kind of drawing the enemy out. Okay, so a couple of good moves here by both players. I like Hidden using some of his infantry to screen all these Lancers, and he has done a nice job getting his gun emplacements ready and already firing. The thing I'm worried about for Hidden, which I think, I hope he doesn't, but it seems like this is where this battle is going. It seems to me like he is going to take a firefight against all light infantry, which is just going to get his line infantry bowled over, right? Like, he has the numbers advantage. I almost think pushing on these lights is going to be better than trying to trade fire with them. Now maybe, you know, he just wants to use his close range artillery, and in that case, it could be good. But I mean, the way blue is spreading out, and the way he's already kind of starting to menace the flanks with his cav, I think not taking a melee engagement is going to get a lot of his line infantry beat up quite early. And I also don't understand why these goons are all kind of jammed up together here. That is confusing me a bit. But again, still early. I just don't really love Gold's choice to fight at range here. All right, so blue gun staying in the back, getting some decent range in. And I mean, those 8-pounders are getting a lot of fire down. Okay, so now we're going to see a fight here on the flank. He's advancing with his infantry first. Again, this is a nice move by Hidden. He's screening with these 3 lines to get his dragoons across, though. This is going to be a very isolated fight. It's going to pull from the main engagement here. And now, like I said before, we have 2 8-pounders, which is quite a bit of money, left pretty exposed. Now, if we take a look at the other flank, oh, okay, so Kurz already crashing in. Looks like he was trying to screen with Hussars. I mean, those Hussars are just going to get butchered. And yeah, this is going to be a really juicy opportunity for a wrap-up here, especially if the lights push. And he's even got guards here coming up from the south as well. So this is going to be really dicey for Gold. And he's starting to turn all of these guns over, and he's bringing in his second line. But I think FM Nico has gotten a nice engagement here. And if Gold tries to push over too many reinforcements, that's where Nico's going to push up the gut and overrun these artillery batteries. All right, so continuing to distract on the left flank. Okay, this is a classic tactic, right? So you're distracting on one flank, baiting out your opponent while you overwhelm another flank. This has happened to me way too many times than I want to admit, but he's holding down the center very, very firmly. He is taking losses from all of this close-range artillery fire, but honestly, he has enough cover, and he's just trading a lot of shots with these line infantry. Yes, he's losing more org, but that's not really that substantial. Meanwhile, this is the substantial engagement right here, right? He's charging in. He's going to get at least one of these guns shut down, possibly 2. And with all of these Kurz coming in, I mean, the Hussars put up no defense at all. And the light infantry, the line infantry are going to get engaged by guards and heavy cav. And this right flank is just going to get bowled over. And the more reinforcements he feeds into it, the more he's kind of just allowing this flank to be more and more effective. So I don't know. At this point, I think Gold's just been outmaneuvered. Yes, he has plenty of reinforcements to come in, but I mean, he's got a lot of out-of-place artillery. He's got a bunch of cav that are on a goose chase. And those infantry were good for, you know, crossing the creek and supporting, but now they're just going to go and chase lancers around the map, which is definitely not a good use for them. Yeah, there's going to have to be some major engagement that he wins in the center here. Maybe he tries to push, but I mean, even if he does push in the center, there's no way he gets a breakthrough before his right flank just collapses. So yeah, really good engagement by FM Nico and just a good use of his army. He knows that he can't, you know, go for the long slug from range. So he's just charging right in. He's using his elite infantry. He's using his heavy cav. And he picked a good flank to do it on because now he doesn't have to worry about all these dragoons trying to screen. And yeah, it's looking pretty good for blue. All right, so choosing not to push on the center. Okay, really nice formation here by Nico once again. He's anchoring his left flank with the river, bringing his lancers back in. I would almost love to see those lancers just push all the way through here and then see Nico maybe try to plug the gaps with a couple of guard units. That would be really smart because then these lancers could get into the action while these dragoons have to try to cross the creek while being screened by infantry. But the main engagement, the main place where it's going wrong for gold, again, is the right flank. We're just seeing more yellow units getting battered. And yes, some of the blue units are starting to get worn down too, but you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 healthy cavalry units here. And yeah, they're just going to continue to hammer in anvil. The second line is now engaged, and it's not going to hold for much longer. So yeah, nice hold here, distracting his opponent on the left so that he can get a local victory on the right. And like I said, these 8-pounders, they're really, really good, but they just have not had the time to be that effective. And I mean, these two artillery haven't been that great either, but they're also not the majority of Blue's army. Right flank continuing to fold here. Bringing up the golden guns. I like that. Okay. So now we're going to be seeing a cavalry engagement on the left flank, and it's a bit of a mess over here, if I'm being honest. So all these lancers are just going to slam into these dragoons, I suppose. I still kind of want to see at least one of these guards go over and defend that river crossing. And it looks like these line infantry are going to be crossing as well. I actually kind of like this move, using the line infantry to bait a lot of these others. So yeah, you're going to lose this line, but it is in cover and it's pinning down 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 infantry. That's a nice move. It's a good sacrificial play. And wow, the right flank just gets worse every time I look at it. I feel like a broken record, but we are seeing a couple of the blue units break. We see a broken light here. We see a broken grenadier here. But if we take a look at the number of broken units, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and only 2 broken units for blue. Though oh, interesting. The army power is still in favor of gold. I guess that's just because he has more numbers. But he's taken more casualties, and his flank is going to collapse very shortly here. All right, cavalry engagement on the left flank is now on. Dragoons are doing pretty well, but they're just outnumbered by the lancers, and the lancers even getting a hammer and anvil charge. Infantry coming in far too late to be effective, and now the entire right flank of the Golden Army has collapsed, and it is going to be an absolute massacre, and the victory points are slowly creeping into Blue's favor. But wow, what an excellent clinic by Blue. I mean, that was a beautiful play there. Swinging to the right while retreating on the left. It's like the most classic play in the book. But I mean, the tail in the tape is the cavalry numbers, right? Almost 4,000 horse versus only 2,000. And most of this cavalry was better than all of this cavalry. Now, yes, he had a lot more infantry and a lot more guns, but I mean, when it's a quick engagement like this, when the melee is going to happen very, very soon within 5 turns, spamming artillery, it doesn't work like it used to. And yeah, it's really cool to see these heavy artillery builds kind of being shown to be a bit too easy to counter, because all you have to do is play aggressively, outflank your opponent, use your cav numbers, and it's going to work out well for you in the end. But nice play by Blue. I think Gold did have a good strategy. I think just a few too many cannons. I think he probably could have only brought like 3 or 4, maybe change them to horse artillery for more mobility, and then just bring more cav, right? Use your infantry superiority, but now you have more cav to screen, and you won't get flanked so easily. But I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I am excited for the big update. I hope you guys are too, and I'll see you then. But until then, have a great day, have a great life. See you later.